Sorry about the delay between videos, but this is the second part of the faceting series, and we're going to look at Facet Grid. So Facet Grid is a little bit more structured than Facet Wrap. Facet Wrap is actually way more variable, and you can use it in a lot of situations, but Facet Grid is going to be a lot more structured in the way it facets the chart. So let's zoom in real quick. And this we're going to try to make this chart. So this chart is going to show cancer rates not only by state, as you see, which are in these columns right here, but also by sex. So if you were to do this in Facet Wrap, you could, but it would take a lot of extra work. When you want something complicated like this, Facet Grid is going to be your best tool. So let's start getting into it. So the first part, I'm just going to basically run these, and this is just going to load this cancer file, and it's in the GitHub, so you can find it there. And then I'm gonna do some basic cleanup, but instead of going through all that, I'm just gonna jump into the gridding. So you're gonna want with the GGPlot, and then we're gonna set it up pretty similarly to how we had the Facet Wrap. So data equals cancer.ms AES aesthetics, x equals year underscore y equals deaths, group equals x dot state. So state is going to be our group. So in this situation, these are done by state. So the states are going to give us your colors. So the states are going to have these different type of colors, and we'll see that real quick. And then I'll break this. Color equals x dot state. And then plus geom line. So when we run this guy, you can see it's kind of a mess. It's kind of a mess in a lot of ways, and this is also why you need faceting, because you're going to see that the counts for California are really high. The counts for Massachusetts and Kansas are much lower, so you're going to have to break it out. So let's do our first breakout. But here you're going to see that there's actually a lot. The zigzag is because it's male and female, and that you can see the line goes from the female to the male, and then the female to the male, and that's when you get that zigzag. You know that you need to facet. So let's do our first facet. Facet grid, and the structure is pretty similar to Facet Wrap. So when we facet on gender first, let's just do gender first, x dot gender dot, and let's facet on nothing. So let's facet just on gender. So you facet just on gender, we're going to see that, okay, it's going to treat gender as the rows, and it's going to put female there and male there. And now we can see across this, so we're just comparing female and male cancer rates across different states. This would be a good chart. This would be a pretty good chart. You can see that these numbers right here are really big, so if we really wanted to break it down even more, we'd have to do more and add the commons in there, but this is a pretty good place to start. So if we switch this and we did state, you're going to see that gives this again by state. It's going to facet the rows by state, but we don't want that because it's have males and females. So we want to actually add males and females. And remember, in that original chart, we had states as the columns and then the rows as gender. So we'll just fix that. We'll add in gender here, and we'll add an x state dot. We'll see what we get. That is looking good. So now you're going to see that California, Kansas, and Massachusetts are comparable, but there's an issue that we're going to have to expand the limit. So this goes, I don't think this goes all the way down to 0. So let's expand those limits real quick. Oops. Oh, so there we go. So that's kind of the issue with Facet Grid. So Facet Grid is less usable in situations like this because you're going to get this down here. So I think we had it So we're going to see that for deaths count, that's not going to work for us a lot. But the thing we can do is we can just do crude rates. So let's look at a crude rate. And we do crude rate, which takes into account population size. You can get something that works way better. So this works way better. We're going to get 2,000. You can see also with Facet Grid, a little bit busier on the bottom. You really can't control this as much. 2000, 2005, 2010. But you can do some stuff to make it look a little bit better, which will cut off this legend right there. We'll do that real quick. And this is a simple line, theme, legend, position equals none. It's going to drop that off, so we're going to give more room on our x-axis for the years. And then you're also noticing here these California, Kansas, and Massachusetts are in quotation marks. You can change that by editing your variables. So, and it'll just get rid of that, so you can relabel those ones. Next thing we're going to do is let's just clean this up and let's finish it out. So let's add some titles to it. And this looks pretty good, so I'm pretty happy with how this looks. So labs x equals, and we're going to do the backslash again. This gives you a little bit of space. So notice right here, there's not a lot of space. I'm just going to do the backslash. It's going to give me an extra space. Backslash n, sorry. Y equals, and even though it's a crude rate, it's actually age adjusted rate. So age adjusted rate per 100K. And the title, cancer rates by sex and state. Let's add it all up, see what we get. A little bit of space here, so I'm going to want to add space here and space there. Let's do that real quick. Backslash n backslash n. Cool. So now we get the space. Everything looks pretty good. I don't use Facet Grid a lot because I don't like the way it looks. I actually use Facet Wrap more. But in some situations, if you're doing a lot of charts and you need to be faceted in this situation or in this type of way, it works really well. And it's actually it's good to know both. You actually have to know both Facet Wrap and Facet Grid, and they are more useful in some situations. So hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm actually going to mix it up next with the next video and look at different types of charts and graphs, and then stressing them. So seeing what types of charts work across a lot of different mediums and why do they work, and then why do some things not work across different mediums. And then after that, we're going to go into more stuff like GGMap, which is using Google Maps inside of R, which is a great utility. And if you guys want to see anything, or if you guys have any questions about this video or any other videos, please put something in comments and I'll get back to you. All right. Thank you guys. Bye.